way. Keep the noise down.
How do they feel about it? Some think it's funny.
Out. Oh, I want to come out, please. I don't want to be a criminal. Oh, let me out.
Some don't.
Things in here. Things in here. They don't have no mattress on that bed. Oh. I just want to get out of this thing. You come in here and let them close the door on you, and you tell us how you feel.
When the revolution come, you can see me on the front line, firing my gun, standing right beside my son. If I go, it's understood that I stood for something. When my whole life, they told me I was good for nothing. I was raised by the stray dogs, blazed off, laid off, breaking laws, graveyard, shifting everyday war. Focus now, notice how things change. Soldier, I remain the same. I'm older now, I embrace the pain. I blame the struggle, nearly drove me insane. Thought I lost my head till my brethren told me the same. No tears for the reaper. I buried about 1,000 in graffiti, rest in peace, sprayed off throughout the housing. I try to stay civilized. The hood's a prison inside. The only difference is the doors don't slide. Still we trapped in the animal cage, cause we got animal ways, so we react with the animal rage. And my section's real, weapons peeled, cheddar's the deal. Seen the depths of hell, now I stare death in the grill. From the slave ships to today's bricks, same shit. I'm awake to the wickedness and one with the pavement.
The all-great mind stays divine, my hands remain deadly. We shine without the hung jury, produce light that'll travel through mics. Now as the time ripened, we took words that were nourishing, encouraging a nation to awaken those who are sleeping. Can you conceive the thought? Transatlantic imports, slaved and bought. Secret relations between blacks and Jews might set a fuse off in the head. Many dead, lynch hung, swung from trees. Brothers in the struggle together, eat from one pot, hold each other down to the sneaker. Nothing come between us, fast money and chicks. Did it to the best of clicks. It's sickening. Huh. It's me and you, son, forever in the struggle. No doubt we hustle, survival is the motto. The youth soon follow, a better tomorrow. Like make way for a better tomorrow. It's me and you, son, forever in the struggle. No doubt we hustle, survival is the motto. The youth soon follow, a better tomorrow. Take care, hope he stands for a better tomorrow.
I catch a few flashbacks about going through the struggle, how we used to make dollars from all the snow we shoveled in a broke neighborhood where the kids often dream about a lavish life that is mostly seen on the screen, with some dreams that quickly cut short due to gang violence from loud guns that kept witnesses in deep silence. Was it bad timing, jealousy from too much shining, or a setup from a girl that he whined, kept dining? It's a known fact they will attack, cause it's like that. And depending on the kind of impact they strike back. In a town where the talk is cheap and beef is brief, a mother sobs uncontrollably and exhibit the grief. Large holes in the front door of a housing tenement allows room to retaliate, so conflict is imminent. This hate in the brain destroys the cells like cancer. Even experts are stuck with more questions than answers.
Bertram Bailey. He locks innocent kids in jail.
Now I want you to listen to this because this is what is heard all day long, okay?
The sound of Baltimore City Jail. These kids are from Herring Run Junior High. They're going to jail and they haven't done anything wrong. They're going to tour the Baltimore City Jail as part of a program designed to keep them out. It's called the Juvenile Non-Offenders Program. There's no other program in the country that teaches innocent kids about jail. This tour took place before the airing of Scared Straight, so these kids have no idea what it's going to be like.
Well, I ain't never been in a jail before, but I guess, and I heard on the news and stuff about it being all crowded and stuff. So it's probably crowded and, got 2 or 3 people in one cell or something like that. That's what I expected.
These students will get a complete tour of the jail. We're going to show you the process they would experience if they were entering as offenders. The part of the program intended to make an impression. As the students walk the main area where the prisoners are received, they're greeted by catcalls from the detainees. It was uncomfortable for the students. It was frightening. They saw the shakedown room where prisoners are strip searched. They were locked in the bullpen, or waiting cell, while some of the students had their mug shots taken. Learn by doing. It's very simple. 28-year-old Bert Bailey is a director of the Juvenile Non-Offender Program.
I started the program because I had a concern. I used to be a substitute teacher in junior high school, and I saw a concern for disciplinary problems in the junior high school level. And then I came over here and worked as a correctional officer for 3.5 years at the reception center. And I found out through inmate records that the average grade level for inmates entering the jail was around grade 8. And I saw a lot of juveniles begin to enter the jail, and I got an idea and I put it into motion. It took me about 2.5 years to really get it off the ground.
The students had the opportunity to talk with incarcerated juveniles, young men not much older than they, but as the students pointed out, much, much older looking. The offenders told of things that these students have never seen.
Say a black guy come on the section, he a nice looking guy, got curly hair, maybe look like Michael Jackson. Here you got a bunch of guys whistling at him. Ooh, ooh, look sweet to me, look good to me, right? And then the guy got a complex, say, hey, don't talk to me like that, I ain't no girl. Then other guys say, what you mean you ain't no girl? You'll be a girl if I tell you be a girl. Then you got some guys, right, like we got punks, faggots, freaks, homosexual, bisexual. They all right in here, right? This is a community of everything you wanted to be in here. Everything you dreamed of or you thought that wasn't in here is in here.
26-year-old Robert Murrow is Bert's assistant.
We're not trying to scare kids from incarceration. Or we are in a way, but that's not the full thrust of the program. The main thrust is education. Stay in school, complete your education, and then you can deal with situations such as being incarcerated and ending up in jail. You can get out.
The most impressive stop in the jail is the cafeteria. This is where the students begin to see how bad jail can be. The cafeteria is roach infested. The smell is gagging. Things happen in here that don't happen at Herring Run Junior High.
A lot of the incidents Mr. Bailey has personally witnessed happen here in this dining area, where an inmate has come over the table and sliced someone's throat, and the man has died before we get into the city hospital from loss of blood. Most of the incidents that happen here are drug-related, and also...
These techniques work. Not 100%, but most of these students are obviously beginning to get the message. This program will be successful because it is based on experience, not revenge.
It's very serious, it's very real, it's very life or death. There's no in-between, it's cut and dry.
My personal experience goes back to the riots of maybe 1968 when I was locked up and I came over here for 3 days, and I think that 3 days gave me enough time to really think about being incarcerated and being inside of a cell, confined in a small area. And one time before I was locked up for shooting crap, when I was a teenager, nickel and dimes or something like that. And those 2 times were incarcerated was enough for me.
The kids are taken to a dark, ugly section and locked up. They will only be in for a few minutes, but it will be long enough to get a real good look.
Keep your hands out of the way. Keep the noise down.
How do they feel about it? Some think it's funny.
Out. Oh, I want to come out, please. I don't want to be a criminal. Oh, let me out.
Some don't.
Things in here. Things in here. They don't have no matches on that bed. Oh. I just want to get out of this thing. You come in here and let them close the door on you, and you tell us how you feel.
Bert Bailey feels that if he can reach only 10% of the kids, he'll be successful. But that is a modest estimation. A 20-year jail veteran who's seen it all sums it up with some advice.
I know at your age you like to do things slick, you know, but take my advice. The slickest thing you can do in this day and age is get an education. You know, we have people in this institution that could leave out today or tomorrow if they had enough education to do so. You know, some people in here don't even know how much time they got because they can't read the paper where their sentences there. I hope in the event that you do come back, if I be here 5 years from now, please don't come to me and say, remember me, I was on the tour of the institution. I don't want to see you. I ain't got no rap for you. Because ain't no need of me talking to nobody as dumb as me.
Only 2.5 hours have passed in the school day of these students, but it made some lifetime impressions.
It's really depressing. It's bad in there. I didn't like it at all. It was a lot worse than I thought it would be. Yeah.
Do you think you could survive in there?
No. I don't even want to see if I could. I didn't even like walking around. So I wouldn't want to go.
Now I want you to listen to this because this is what is heard all day long, okay?
We'll be back in just a minute.
Check out what I'm living with. I'm living with 1,700 crazy-ass people.
What I really hadn't picked up on was how I begun changing, how I begun thinking, how I begun acting like an animal.
The first thing that you do when you come to jail is you get scared to death. You fear. For the first time in your life, you're gonna get to know what fear is.
Throughout the country, our jails and prisons are filled with bitter words and broken lives. Each year, the numbers grow. Last year alone, over 6,000 juveniles were arrested in Baltimore County, and nationwide, the statistics were no better. Part of the problem stems from juvenile offenders not fully understanding the consequences of a life of crime, that the only future ultimately awaiting them is arrest, conviction, imprisonment. But there are some unique programs that strive to drive that point home. Here at the Maryland State Prison, it's called Project T.
So what, man? So what? So what you broke in somebody's house? So what you stole something? So what? What you trying to stand up there and make yourself look like Superman or Supercon or something?
Come here, love. Switch roles with him. Switch roles with him. Switch roles with him. Now, Watson, you'll love it, and love you, Watson. You're 13 years old. You started out stealing.
Yeah, I'm 13 years old, and I started out stealing.
What you're seeing is a psychodrama. It's a rehearsal for what's called an intimidation session. But these men aren't actors. They're inmates, and their words are forged by years of imprisonment.
See what I'm saying? You got tell them why. You always have an explanation for why you're doing something.
You want them to feel your repentance. You want them to feel your sorrow. If you can't transfer those feelings, then there's no sense in telling them about what you were doing out there. Otherwise, you just be glorifying crime.
Kevin Williams Bay was convicted of murder at age 16. Today, he's one of the chairmen of Project T.
Anybody can tell a kid that prison is not good enough for you, but can anybody tell them that how I was scared to death in the penitentiary? Can anybody tell them how I thought that somebody would walk up to me and take advantage of me? Can anybody tell them how it feels to lose that, not to be able to communicate with their mother, or how it feels to not have your wife in prison? I mean, living with you and all this kind of thing.
What Project T tries to do is literally scare kids away from a life of crime. It was originally patterned after the controversial program Scared Straight. But unlike its predecessor, Project T's participants are carefully screened. The program is now a big part of an overall counseling program. Pete Camburis is a youth counselor for Baltimore County.
First of all, in Rahway, and just about anybody could go. That was the one thing that we were strictly opposed to. What we want to do in Baltimore County is show a youngster that life is real and things happen in a realistic way. They get arrested, they go to court. The court sentences you to a prison. You don't go to a prison by way of PA system in the school.
Realism. That's the key to Project T. And when Pete arrives at the Maryland State Pen with his carload of kids, the reality is overwhelming.
When they first walk in the door, they meet an officer there who will take that little sense of security that they have when they come in. He'll start taking that away from them. He'll tell them all the things that they have, all the personal property, to put it in a brown bag. Their sense of feelings, pride, all of that goes into the bag too. This environment, they know they have no control over. They have lost control over their life, they have lost control over their destiny, they have lost control of themselves. They cannot even control their own thoughts.
I'm telling you now, for a start, all that scratching and digging, I ain't gonna have it while I'm up here. You understand me? I want everybody's eyes on me the whole time I'm talking.
In the psychodramas, situations and environments are controlled.
My name is 144-259, and I got 30 years for murder.
But now that the intimidation session has begun, all control is tossed out, along with predictability, security, and trust.
2 more of my buddies burned up before my very eyes after somebody threw a bucket of lighter fluid and a match in there on that.
Each inmate in turn tells his story, and the picture of prison life unfolds. Generette Dixon, in for 30 years. Kevin Williams Bay, life.
People who've been here for 10 years ain't had a woman in years. When they look at you, they look at the closest thing that they can see to a woman. You know what that feels like? You know what it feels like getting in the shower knowing that a group of men staring at you, lusting off of you, wanting to know how you would look in their bed and their bunk, pressing their bunk. You know what that feels like? I had to stab a guy.
Timmy Lee, in for 25 years.
Yeah, because, it was a thing because of massage, and things wanted to be taken advantage of, and I had to stab a guy. He gave me 6 months for that, online. That means the jail inside of me.
My name is the same thing, number name. It's 114936. You gave me life in 20 years. Unfold your legs. Didn't I say you can't get comfortable? It's like you don't want me to tell you what to do, huh? I don't want these police in here to tell me what to do. They tell me when to sleep. They tell me when to get up. They tell me when to eat. They tell me when to take a bath. They tell me everything. I'm like a robot. And you don't want nobody to tell you what you do? Stay out in that street. If you come in here, they're not going to tell you. They're going to show you. They're going to make you.
In our free society, when a juvenile commits a crime, he feels powerful, like the world is at his command. What he doesn't know is that he's just forsaking one society for another. Only this society he can't control. We'll be back in a minute.